So the kickoff is finally at hand as the Buffalo Bills and the New York Giants get ready to have at it. The NFC, as many of you I'm sure know, has won the last 6 Super Bowls. The last time the AFC was victorious was here following the 1983 season when the Raiders beat Washington. And in this, the 25th Super Bowl, as you see Parcells and Levy getting set, the NFC has won 12 and the AFC has won 12. So we'll break the tie tonight. Buffalo receiving, and that's not real good news for the Giants because you know the way Buffalo will start it in their hurry-up 2-minute offense, which has been so productive down the stretch and in postseason. Matt Barr to kick off. Don Smith is back to receive along with Al Edwards, and Super Bowl 25 is underway in Tampa. Barr's kick taken up at the 13-yard line. It's Don Smith, who used to play for the Buccaneers, tackled by Barr. So Matt Barr, who loves to refer to himself as a player and not just a kicker, proves it on the opening kickoff of the Super Bowl. And here come the Bills. They go without a huddle. Jim Kelly calls his own plays. Clearly, he has gone through the first several with Ted Marchibroda, the offensive coordinator, and here we go on first down. Kelly has protection, but nobody gets open, and then he has to throw it away. So even though the offensive line did its job, so did the Giants secondary. Let's take a look quickly now at the Buffalo offense with Jim Kelly having by far the best year of his career. Thurman Thomas in the backfield with him. Lofton, Reed, and Edwards the wideouts, and McKellar an emerging tight end. We'll get to the offensive line in a moment. The pass over the middle. There's the crossing pattern to Reed, but that doesn't do a lot of damage as Greg Jackson makes the tackle. If the Giants can hold him to 3, 4, 5-yard gains, that's good enough. Here is that offensive line with Wolford going to the Pro Bowl, Richer, Hull going to the Pro Bowl, Davis and Ballard each in excess of 300 pounds on the right side. 3rd down and 6. Kelly over the middle again. It is caught by Reed, but Reed is shy of the first down. So the Bills, interestingly, complete 2 crossing patterns, but don't get a first down.
And the Giants did it with 2 down linemen. They were hoping they could do that. It was Leonard Marshall and Eric Howard. They had 4 linebackers, and the rest were defensive backs. So they got away with at least on the first trip. It will make Buffalo thinking about continuing to keep that ball in the air. However, Kelly should have a lot of time with that kind of defensive alignment.
Rick Tootin to kick for Buffalo. You saw Dave Meggett, one of the best in the league at returning punts, dropping back. And Tootin gets away a good kick, fielded by Meggett at the 11-yard line. And Dave Meggett, the slippery one, out to the 31, a 20-yard run back. Meggett from the 11 to the 31 after a 46-yard Tootin kick, and Tootin makes the tackle. Well, we saw the Bills, and they will go with that hurry-up all the time. The Giants absolutely on the other side of the spectrum. Jeff Hostetler is the quarterback. And with him, Otis Anderson and Maurice Carthen, the running backs. We see Meggett coming in as well on 3rd down. Baker and Ingram are the wideouts. Bavaro, the tight end, and the offensive line. They begin with 3 tight ends. We will see this set a lot. And Anderson can't go anywhere, but there's a flag down. Our first flag of the game. The tackle was made by Jeff Wright, but Jerry Seaman will tell us in a moment.
Well, one of the Bills was across the line of scrimmage when the ball was snapped, and he was not drawn off. So the very first defensive snap for the Bills results in a little 5-yard pickup.
Offside, number 56 defense, still first down.
Darryl Talley is right here at the bottom of your screen. You can see he was a good couple feet across the line of scrimmage. So this game is starting very nicely, thank you, if you are a follower of the New York Giants. 3 and out. Their defensive team forced the Buffalo offense, and now they're facing a 1st and 5, their first possession.
And the Giants put Meggett in the backfield on 1st and 5. They send Cross in motion, and they give it to Meggett. To the right side he goes, and out to the 41-yard line, a little short of the first down. He is tackled there by Bruce Smith. Now let's look at that Buffalo defense. And the guys up front, the big man, of course, is Bruce Smith, the dominant defensive player in the NFL right now. Bennett, Conlon, Bentley, and Talley are the linebackers, an excellent quartet. Jackson and Odoms are the corners. Smith is the hard-hitting strong safety, and Kelso is the free safety who never makes a mistake, in the words of Marv Levy. Carthen and Anderson are the Giants splitbacks on 2nd and inches from the 41-yard line. They send Ingram in motion and keep it on the ground, and it's Carthen, a short yardage guy and a blocking specialist, and one of Bill Parcells' favorites, stopped by Bennett and Bentley, and it's a first down for New York.
Of the 28 teams in the National Football League, you could not have found two teams more at the opposite end of the offensive spectrum and how they deal with the clock. The Bills act like they're being cheated, like it's only going to be a 40-minute game, the way they hurry up and run plays. The Giants go into a play-killing, clock-killing offense from the first play of the game. They use up the play clock as much as they possibly can. They are running out the clock from the first play of the game.
As Parcells says, we like to shorten the game. First down from the 43-yard line. Hostetler fakes and then rolls to the right. Pitch cross for a first down. He's out of bounds at the 45, and that is the type of thing Hostetler can do and Sims can't.
And even though Hostetler got the completion, this is something that the Giants wanted to show early. The Bills take a slashing attack to the pass with Cornelius Bennett, number 97. Now he gets caught inside. See number 97? He came in, fought for the play fake, got inside, and Hostetler was able to get outside. And the flag is down. It does appear to be defensively holding. See number 97? He was coming down the line of scrimmage in pursuit. That's what he does so well. Bruce Smith does it on the other side. He got caught inside on the bootleg, and a big pickup.
The penalty was declined, and so a nice gain for New York. And Marv Levy not looking at an opening of a ball game reminiscent of their two romps over the Dolphins and the Raiders in the playoffs.
We played 3.5 minutes with no score. First down at the 44-yard line with Meggett and Anderson in the backfield, and Meggett gets tripped up, but gets up, takes one of the officials with him. The Bills are saying he was down in the backfield. How can that play keep going? And the officials are saying no, as he takes it to the 34-yard line.
Well, did he trip over his own man, or did he?
Talley got upfield. Talley got upfield and forced the hit. I guess Otis Anderson was the lead blocker.
Anderson with the foot out, and it looked like Meggett might have tripped right over it. That's Anderson to the left. Now he puts the block on the blitzing Talley, and there is Meggett tripping over Anderson, and very quickly up on his feet, breaks it back against the grain, and big yardage down inside the 35.
No Bill touched him, so the play alive, and the Giants with a third successive first down at the 34-yard line. Hostetler. Good protection, throws, but too deep, and open was Bavaro. He'd gotten clear at about the 15, but Hostetler couldn't get it to him. Second down.
Bavaro wide open. Hostetler dancing around, a little uneasy back there. He took a lot of time, but he had a lot of time and might have got a little jumpy. Now, Bavaro didn't work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but he has got it back together. He gives a little out move, turns it upfield, sees the zone, pulls up. Hostetler doesn't read it with him, overthrows. And they miss an opportunity.
Second and 10, Giants at the Buffalo 34. No score, 10-11 to go, first quarter. That's Meggett in the backfield. In the absence of Rodney Hampton, we'll see Meggett's role expanded. Meggett on a draw, looks for room. Gets to the 31, picks up 3. Shane Conlon, the inside backer, and Leonard Smith makes the tackle. And for Phil Sims, he's where Jeff Hostetler was 4 years ago when Hostetler, the Giant quarterback, was on injured reserve, watched the Super Bowl in street clothes in Pasadena, and now Phil in that same position today.
Phil, such a competitor. The MVP of the Giants win over Denver and their other Super Bowl win, but on the sideline, cheerleading, his future being questioned by many.
Third down and 7. Giants at the 31-yard line. 7th play of the drive. Hostetler out of the gun, fires over the middle, caught by Ingram. Inside the 20, out of bounds at the 16. First down, Giants.
Well, a couple keys on that play. One was that Jeff Hostetler got great protection from his offensive line A fabulous block up front that time by Jumbo Elliott, working against Bruce Smith. Look at 76 here against 78. That you've got to get underneath. Smith is underneath, but Elliott is so doggone strong he can't handle it.
Meanwhile, it was Ingram reading the zone downfield, and that's what the Bills were trying to exploit, the Giant zone, but the Bills gave them a zone. Ingram came across the field and was wide open.
1st and 10, Giants at the Buffalo 15. Otis Anderson for 2, and then pushed back by a trio of Bills led by Bentley and Conlon. Seals also helping out. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Stop by Conlon.
Great linebacking in this game as you look at Conlon. Tough against the run, off and out of there against the pass. With Cornelius Bennett, Shane Conlon, Ray Bentley, Darryl Talley. That was a look at Bentley, but Conlon in on the play a moment ago. The strength and heart of this defense of the Bills. The linebackers along with big Bruce Smith.
2nd down, 8. That's Meggett offset in the backfield. Cross in motion. Hostetler on a roll, and the mobile one puts his head down and takes it to the 11-yard line. He is tackled there by Leon Seals, and that will set up a 3rd and 6.
Hostetler rolling again, looking downfield for a receiver. Receivers were covered. He pulls it down and picks up a couple of yards. Gives you a lot of options, Hostetler. And they'll be using a lot of rollout option passing tonight, option pass or run, and just the plain bootleg.
3rd down and 6. 10th play of the drive coming. No score. Giants doing what they do so well, moving the ball and taking a lot of time off the clock after Buffalo was 3 and out on its first possession. They have to get to the 5 for a 1st down. Hostetler goes to the end zone and incomplete. Great defense as Mark Ingram was covered by Clifford Hicks.
And Mark Ingram can't just expect to get the call because the ball is underthrown. Clifford Hicks, number 27, watch him play it to the inside. At the last minute, the head will come around and you see him check the ball. That's just excellent defensive work by Hicks in combination with a ball that's pretty severely underthrown. Ingram left with no place to go in the end zone where he could have caught that ball for a touchdown.
This will be a 28-yard field goal attempt. Hostetler puts it down for Barr, last week's hero. And he picks up here where he left off at Candlestick. And this one has begun with the New York Giants establishing the tempo. Buffalo is 3 and out. The Giants, meanwhile, took 6:15 off the clock and went 58 yards to set up the Barr field goal.
Such a typical New York Giant drive.
Barr's kick taken by Don Smith from the 6. Smith is taken down up at the 29-yard line. The tackle is made by Lee Rousson. Temperature in the 70-degree range. 1st down, Buffalo from the 29-yard line, and here is Thurman Thomas to the 31. He picks up 2. He is stopped by Renee Thompson, and here is the Giants defense. Dorsey, Howard, and Marshall up front. Fox and Washington also play a lot. Banks, Diassi, Johnson, and Taylor. The backers, Collins, Walls, Jackson, and Guyton. The basic 4, though the Giants right now have 6 DBs in. And on 2nd and 8, going deep, it's tipped and it's caught by Lofton, who is taken out of bounds at the 8-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal. Tipped by Perry Williams and caught by the venerable James Lofton.
Perry Williams was actually in relatively good position, but the ball was so well thrown by Kelly that he had to leave his feet to get a piece of it. Lofton was just about a yard beyond him, and James Lofton, with the great concentration, stayed with it and made the catch.
61 yards, the longest play in postseason this year. And it's incomplete on 1st and goal, intended for the tight end, Keith McKellar, who was covered by Guyton, and that'll make it 2nd and goal from the 8. The play again.
Kelly with a lot of time and underthrown, as Dan pointed out. Williams, number 23, thought he had good position on it, and came up a little short on it. but the Bills obviously got what they wanted. Lofton against Williams.
Second and goal, handed to Thomas on the inside give out of the gun. Thurman takes it to the 5. Eric Howard with the tackle, and it will be third down and goal.
Again, it's a situation the Giants did not want. Williams single coverage on Lofton. Don Beebe beat Williams in the game they played 5 weeks ago, and they've come right back to it.
Third and goal, and it is tipped volleyball and finally caught by Walls, but out of bounds. Walls got a piece of it, so did Thurman Thomas. And by the time Everson came down with it, he was on the stripe. So he's out of bounds, and the Bills have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Well, that's the defense that the New York Giants are going to run this whole game. They're going to sit back in a zone and let Thomas, let Reed work underneath. They will concede the 4- and 5-yard pass and attempt to knock the ball loose. And that's a good look at it right there. They'll let the Buffalo Bill player be the first guy to touch the ball, but then there's going to be contact, and contact in a hurry.
23-yard field goal. Guyton also got a piece of that as well as Norwood boots it through. .5:51 to play in the opening quarter. That is Dave Meggett, and behind him is Dave Duerson. And they will split when Norwood kicks it, and the Giants want it to wind up in Meggett's hands, and it does. And that's Norwood's first touchback of postseason. Norwood has not been kicking off very deep. It's been a source of concern for the Bills this season, but he booms this one into the end zone, and the Giants take over the 20-yard line. Jeff Hostetler, you've been reading about him, I'm sure, over the past week. A guy who spent 4 years not only on the bench, but his first 4 years with the Giants, he did not throw a single pass.
And you heard the Giants coaches on the sideline call out that glamorous offense that the Giants like to run. 3 tight ends. Tighten up your shoes, here they come.
And one wide out. Ingram at the bottom of the screen. Anderson picks up about 4. Bruce Smith makes the stop. You know, these two teams met in the first preseason game, and one of the big stories was involving Otis Anderson at that point. Would he make the team? Would the Giants keep Otis, or would they keep Joe Morris? And Anderson, until the very end, was, as he put it the other night, scared stiff. Made the cut and plans to be back next season as well.
At the age of 34. But he's not a tired Otis Anderson. He had 2 or 3 years. He played very little when he came here in the parade from St. Louis a few years ago.
2nd and 5 from the 25-yard line. Hostetler has room, seeks the first down, and is very close and should have it. The head linesman right there to spot it. He is run out of bounds by Cornelius Bennett, and it is a first down.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the man they call Biscuit, Cornelius Bennett. You can see he's truly in no man's land. He started to rush, started to fall back, and then when he finally did get into full pursuit, finds out that Jeff Hostetler has darn good speed for a quarterback. Bennett, one of the fastest linebackers in the league, had to really hustle to catch up with Hostetler, but not until he'd already picked up a New York Giants first down. Biscuit, Cornelius Bennett.
1st and 10 up at the 30. Talking about Meggett's expanded role. There he is in the game with Carthen leading. And Dave picks up about 2 to the 32. Darryl Talley, number 56, the outside backer, makes the stop. 2nd and 8.
The New York Giants feel that the Buffalo Bill defense, and justifiably so, has so many talented athletes. But it is the Giants' belief that they freelance, that they gamble, that people like Bruce Smith and Bennett will knife inside, but maybe knife a gap too far inside. And they feel that there are going to be some big plays against this defense. And Al and Frank, I think that's why Meggett's in the ball game sometimes. Dave Meggett is a guy who can capitalize on a mistake and turn it into a 30 or 40-yard play.
At the moment on 2nd and 8, they go back with Otis Anderson, leave him in to block. It's tipped, it's caught by Stephen Baker, and he's to the 50-yard line and a first down. Tackled by Kelso. And that's 6 first downs already for the Giants with 3.5 minutes to go in the quarter.
One thing Hostetler does do that Sims was not doing before he was injured, and that is go much more frequently to the outside men. And Ingram and Baker have been on the receiving end of quite a few Hostetler passes since he took over the starting lineup. There is the tip. That tip by Howard Cross, and Baker very alertly came up with it.
Well, Nate Odoms was working on Baker, and he gave him a 10-yard cushion. He wasn't even in the picture.
That's Odoms following Ingram, who was the man in motion. And from the 50, it's Otis Anderson plowing ahead for 3. Tackled by Leon Seals with 2:50 to go in the opening quarter, and the game tied 3-3.
The middle of the field where they are located right now was torn up yesterday. They took about 6 inches of turf out of there because it had dried with the paint, and they re-sodded it again. Everyone was out sniffing around there today, checking it all out, as only athletes can do, but it appears to be no problem whatsoever.
2nd and 7 at the 46-yard line. Fake to Anderson. Hostetler buying time and then throws too high, intended for Baker, and it's easy to throw too tall to Baker. He's only 5'8". He's covered by Kirby Jackson.
Covered well by Jackson, and Ingram was picked up and covered very well deep downfield. Let's take a look at it again. It will be Baker. He has good speed, and you find a lot of defensive backs laying well off him, but this time Jackson looking him right in the eye when he senses the Baker's going back for the ball. He tries to get back, and he was open. The ball just overthrown.
I'm not sure that 6'8" or 6'9" would have brought that one down. Well overthrown.
At the 46-yard line, 3rd and 6. And the Giants from the shotgun send everybody out into the pattern, including Meggett, and it's off his hands and incomplete. And as is usually the case when Meggett goes out and Hostetler is hurt, Hostetler shaken up. Talley was covering him. Kirby Jackson, who blitzes a lot for a cornerback, was the guy who knocked Hostetler down.
Jackson comes on a blitz off the top of the formation. He's lined up on a receiver, gave Hostetler the look that he was going to play pass. Watch him come off the top of your screen. You see his legs and his feet. Here comes Jackson. Jumbo Elliott, oblivious to his coming. It's not his man. Beautifully played that time by Kirby Jackson, giving the look of coverage and then delaying a half a beat and coming on the rush.
Sean Landeta will try to angle the kick. And it bounces into the end zone. So Landeta with the line of scrimmage, the 46, boots one into the end zone, and that's only a 26-yard net as Buffalo will take over. Well, Buffalo plays the hurry up. The Giants like to, as Parcells says, shorten the game. It's not that unusual that the Giants would have a big edge in time of possession and the score would be even. And that's the case right now, 3-3. Bills have it at the 20, first down. Kelly hands it to Thomas. Thurman picks up 3, gets to the 23, 2nd and 7. Pepper Johnson makes the tackle.
Keep in mind, this is not a no-huddle offense. This is a hurry-up offense. This is unlike what the Cincinnati Bengals do, where they just huddle close to the line of scrimmage. The intent of this offense is to run plays and run them quickly.
The equivalent of a basketball fast break. And there's a first down as Andre Reed takes it to the 34 for a gain of 11. He's hit by Thompson and Collins. First down.
But even in this no-huddle offense, you're trying to do much the same, and that is keep the same players on the field. Try and get your big man against their little man, your fast man against their slow man, and they've been very successful.
That was the play clock you saw on first down. The catch is made up at about the 37-yard line by Andre Reed. Stopped by Thompson. And we are under a minute now to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, again, a good look at that play clock. The Giants will take that thing down inside 10 seconds, inside 5 seconds. The Bills snapped it with 30 seconds left.
And before we have the snap on 2nd and 6, it is Taylor who comes across along with his outside linebacker mate Carl Banks.
Well, I think the left guard moved. I think Jim Richer might have jumped early here.
Requires 3 officials to sort this one out.
There's Richer, the former Outland Trophy winner from North Carolina State.
False start prior to the snap. 51 offense. Still second down.
Here is Richer right here, the left guard. Watch him back up even though he's in a 2-point stance. Yeah, you see the movement. I mean, that's way ahead. In fact, he's so far ahead of it, can't hold the center, doesn't even bother to snap the ball.
And he saw Pepper Johnson coming on the blitz. His eyes got big, and he settled back to pick up the block and got the flag.
2nd and 11 now. Bills at the 33. Game time 3-3 with 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. And over the middle, the catch is made by Reed, who lived there all season. He's hit hard, but he gets up, and it's a first down for Buffalo. Mark Collins was the guy who whacked him. 20-yard pickup.
Now credit that offensive line of the Bills. Great pickup on a blitz by the Giants. Obviously, that's going to put you in man-for-man coverage, and that's a tough situation against Reed. But good blocking, good pickup of the blitz by the Bills.
And with 2 seconds to go in the quarter, Thurman Thomas finds some room, takes it to the 40, and the second period will begin with a 2nd and 3 for Buffalo. 3-3 as we start the second quarter. It's 2nd down and 4 from the 41-yard line. Jim Kelly dumps it off to Thurman Thomas. Nice move by Thomas to pick up the first down and then wrestled to the ground by Carl Banks inside the 30. And Myron Guyton is shaken up.
Thomas,
just for the moment.
The checkoff man, as he has been so many times this year.
Boy, and what a move he put on Greg Jackson.
Thomas is slow getting up.
Thurman Thomas just so dangerous in the open field. Not flashy moves. They are not, you know, that typical show them the leg and take it away. Not an O.J. Simpson type of runner. Much more compact than that. But yet you'll still see people miss him and miss him cleanly. I mean, miss him without doing much but grazing an arm. Look how badly he made Jackson miss. And then it's Carl Banks who really picks him up off the ground, and you see Guyton go down. Tough to tell what happened to Myron.
Sight of Thomas going off the field would put a lump in any Buffalo fan's throat. He's out for the moment. Kenneth Davis is in, and it's Davis who gets it on first down and picks up 3. Davis, 5'10", 209-pounder in his 5th year out of TCU. Doesn't play that much, normally just to give Thomas a breather. First quarter offense in postseason against Miami. They scored 13 points, 164 in terms of yardage, blew the Raiders out. And today, most of the yardage came on that pass to Lofton. Here's Kelly, complete to Reed, and Reed already having a big night. With the game barely more than a quarter old, has a first down at the 16-yard line. Andre Reed has already caught 6 passes.
Reed takes it all the way across the field, underneath the zone, and the Giants, well, they'll give you that. You complete a lot of passes against them. You do not get many yards against them, but if you keep pecking away, you're going to keep moving the football.
And breathe easier, Buffalo. Thomas is back in the game, and he gets the ball, and he picks up 2, taking it to the 14-yard line.
For those of you that haven't followed the Bills all that much, if you're wondering how do they get the play in from the sidelines to quarterback Jim Kelly so quickly, the answer is they don't. Jim Kelly is calling his own plays and very happy to do so. A quarterback's dream, and he's running his own show.
2nd and 7, tremendous protection. McKellar makes the catch. McKellar takes it to the 8, and the flag is down. Back at the 20-yard line.
Thrown by the referee. That's normally, oh, and we're going to get a roughing the passer call. It's his responsibility is to watch the right tackle and to watch the quarterback. He's either going to call a hold on the right tackle when the referee throws the flag, or it's going to be some sort of a personal foul, and that's what we have.
Personnel foul, roughing the passer, extra steps, number 70 defense, first down.
Leonard Marshall.
Well, it's incumbent upon Leonard Marshall in this play to pull up on it. The ball had been delivered. Kelly was watching the ball, and Marshall delivered the shot. And the Giants all confused on their defense. They tried to get a timeout before the ball was snapped. Kelly is saying that they didn't do that, but they're going to give them the timeout.
Timeout, New York, prior to the snap. Timeout prior to the snap, New York.
Jerry Seaman has the final word. The Giants, I think, were caught with 12 men on the field. And it appeared that Dorsey, to us anyway, Dorsey was late in getting off. So the Giants have to burn the timeout here. It's going to be 1st and goal at the 4.
Boy, and Bill Parcells, who's worked all week long on trying to substitute. You see him think. We've worked on this. They were caught making. Take a look at this right here. Here are a couple guys all the way back here at the 15. Buffalo's on the line of scrimmage and ready to run a play. One of those guys is going. One of them is coming. A smart timeout by the Giants defense.
And you're right, Dan, they have worked on it all week, and their scout team has been running the Buffalo offense, the no-huddle offense, and this time they got caught. Now, here was a hit a moment ago that drew the flag, and the ball is gone. Leonard's got to pull up on that. That'll get a flag every time, and it should.
That's flagrant. That's flagrant. And, of course, those of you in San Francisco know that it was a clean and legitimate shot by Leonard Marshall that separated Joe Montana from the ball and broke Joe's finger and knocked him out of the game.
1st and goal now as they shift out of the eye. Send McKellar in motion. Give it to Mueller. The big fullback barrels forward. And he's stopped just short of the goal line by Lawrence Taylor. Mueller has become one of the forgotten men this year. Doesn't carry the ball that often. Big blocking fullback, but they like to use him when they get down close.
A major league collision between this guy, Lawrence Taylor. He's right in it, not blocked, and he hits Mueller at the 2, and Mueller had enough momentum to carry Lawrence Taylor backwards and ended up down inside the 1-yard line. Almost got it in. But that play was read and diagnosed perfectly by Lawrence Taylor.
They may be looking at the play in terms of crossing the plane of the goal line. Let's take a look again. There's a stoppage here from the officials.
And technically they can look at it if they choose to see where to spot the ball.
And they have to stop it because the Bills using the no-huddle offense, they don't give them really time enough to look at the play before they're up there ready to run another play.
Mueller was close to getting that ball in the end zone, but it looked like an accurate spot.
Short of the goal line, 2nd down.
Yep. They confirmed that it was an accurate spot by the officiating crew.
12:42 to go. 1st half, game tied 3-3. Bills terrific once they get inside the opponent's 5-yard line. Near perfect. Don Smith and Mueller are the running backs, and Donnie Smith takes it into the end zone.
Oh, and Jamie Mueller buried a Giant. And Donnie Smith came right off his fanny into the end zone.
Well, it was Gary Reasons, Frank, the linebacker, that took on Mueller. Reasons has no choice but to sell out in the backfield, and he's obliterated by Mueller. Two of the finest blocking fullbacks in the league are in this game. Jamie Mueller for the Bills, Maurice Carthon for the New York Giants.
Scott Norwood for the extra point. Frank Reich puts it down. And Don Smith knows his way into the end zone in Tampa. He used to play with the Bucks. They left him unprotected, picked up by Buffalo in Plan B. Tampa Stadium, Tampa, Florida, site of Super Bowl 25, 10-3. The Buffalo Bills up by 7. They come into the game favored by 7. It's the most an AFC team has been favored by since Pittsburgh went in as an 11-point choice over the Rams following the '79 season.
That's because it's been a long time since the AFC sent this good a football team to the Super Bowl.
Dave Duerson fields it on a hop from the 10 and takes it out to the 31-yard line. Giants at the 32. The Bills went 80 yards. In 4:27, Smith took it in. And the one thing the Giants don't want to do is fall very far behind. They don't have the type of offense that could erase a big deficit. Hostetler.
That was going to be a screen pass. That was going to be a screen to Otis Anderson. But Bruce Smith, by taking such a big inside move, just ate Anderson up. Anderson actually saved a sack, but at the same time, he ended up sacrificing the play, all because of the big move inside by Big Bruce. Watch the right side of your screen, rather. You see Smith in there? Anderson gets tied up with him. Right now, Jeff Hostetler knows he has nowhere to go with the football, but this is what he can do. He takes a negative and makes it a positive. Although only a 2-yard positive, still he made something happen.
2nd and 8, Giants from their own 34. 11:50 to go in the half. 10-3 Bills. Anderson on a delay. Nudges forward for a couple. Jeff Wright, the nose tackle, makes the stop along with help from Leon Seals. 3rd and 6, Giants at the 36-yard line. From the shotgun. Bills rush 5. Hostetler hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Leon Seals really decked him, and Hostetler once again slow and arising. The backup is Matt Cavanaugh.
One of the things they did is they moved Bruce Smith to the other side of the line, and Smith took his customary big inside move. Seals loops around to the outside, and because Smith took 2 guys, he gets the shot on the QB.
Hostetler standing in there, and he just runs right through him.
Again, though, caused by Bruce Smith and his ability to monopolize the line of scrimmage.
Sean Landetta with a line of scrimmage of 36. Al Edwards calls for a fair catch and makes it in a very odd spot right along the sideline at the 27-yard line.
Let's go back again, and I want to show you. Here's Bruce Smith right here. Watch him go to the inside. He's going to occupy Riesenberg and Moore on this side, and here comes Seals around to the outside. But it's Bruce Smith and his ability. There's the one guy. He's got Riesenberg. There he's got Moore, and that's just easy pickings for Leon Seals coming around, and poor Jeff Hostetler pays the price. It is the tremendous dominance of Bruce Smith that allows plays like that to happen. And we can see on the sidelines that Matt Cavanaugh is beginning to warm up. He is throwing the ball on the Giants sideline.
And if he were to get into the game, well, there he is on the phone for the moment as they work on Hostetler. Smelling salts. The Giants have 2 quarterbacks. Super Bowl 25 in Tampa. We have 10:52 remaining in the first half. They work on Hostetler. Cavanaugh ready to warm up if necessary. Hostetler has been hit hard twice. They have, I mentioned Mark Ingram as a possible emergency quarterback, and also Dave Meggett to take some snaps in the shotgun. From the 27-yard line, here's Thurman Thomas exploiting a huge hole and a 14-yard gain to the 41-yard line. Everson Walls makes the stop, and Jim Richards' block paved the way.
Well, we have seen outstanding work to this point in the ball game turned in by the Bills' offensive line. Will Wolford, Jim Richard, Kent Hull, John Davis, and Howard Ballard. They're dominating the line right now.
Here's Thomas again. Dances his way forward up to the 45 for a gain of 4. He's stopped by Pepper Johnson. And this, I think, is a very big series for the Giants defense.
Giants continuing to go with a 2-down lineman, and all of a sudden now the Bills starting to exploit that. Firing out, getting into the linebackers with their bigger men, driving him off the line, and giving it to Thomas.
Giants are not the type of team that wants to be down 17-3. It's 2nd and 6. Kelly incomplete. It's knocked away by Guyton in and out of the hands of Andre Reed.
Beautifully timed out by Myron Guyton, who probably is the least heralded of these Giants, who has contributed so much. And there is the young coach, Bill Belichick, who many are speculating will move on to a head job. But look at the timing of this. Guyton arriving with the ball, causing the incompletion.
Giants nearly jump, and in fact they did, unless they were pulled off on what would be a 3rd and 6. So if the Giants came across, it'll be 3rd and 1.
Encroachment prior to the snap. Number 74 offense.
Eric Howard.
One of the problems defensively when you're faced with this hurry-up offense is, one, getting your lines of communication to all 11 players, but the other one is losing concentration. And that's all that was right there, where Eric Howard ended up coming clear across the line of scrimmage and making contact.
And they yank him and replace him with Mike Fox, 93, over the nose. Kelly on 3rd and 1, throws, and Reed, can you believe that? Stopped the presses, drops the ball.
That might have been very providential for Andre Reed. He was about to be put away by Pepper Johnson. He was about 3 steps from him. Tepper had him right in his sights. There he comes across that Giant zone, letting you have everything underneath. The big number 52 says, try it next time. I'll still be here.
And so the Giants on a key defensive series do hold 4th and 1. Rick Tootin to kick. Floats one down to the 6, and a fair catch is called for by Dave Neggett. Giants have it at their own 6-yard line. Hostetler in the game, leading the Giants from deep in their own territory. Buffalo up by 7. Carthen and Anderson behind him. Hostetler off the fake. Hits OJ for a gain of about 7 to the 13. You know, I mentioned, guys, that the Giants didn't want to be down 17-3. No team, of course, does. But if the Giants were to fall behind by 2 touchdowns with their offense, they'd have to score, let's face it, at least 17 to win the game and hold Buffalo without another point.
And those are point totals that just haven't been coming easy to the New York Giants, Al. I mean, not to mention the fact that at the pace that they move offensively, it would take them a half to score that long if they scored every possession.
2nd and 3. Flag. Anderson, he's close to a first down. Pending the penalty. Bentley in on the tackle.
And so frequently that is the holding call, that flag right in the middle of the line.
I think Bart Oates, he was at the middle of that thing. If you're guilty by how close the flag lands to you.
Holding. Number 65 offense. Still 2nd down.
Bart Oates passed the bar this July.
Did you ever try to kick that flag, Dan, when it hovered around your ankles?
No, the worst, some of those umpires were downright mean, and they would throw it right at you. And one of the guys one time threw it and hit Dobler right in the eye. It stuck in his face mask, and he was trying to pull that yellow flag out of his helmet. That's when everybody knows who it is.
2nd and 10 from the 6-yard line. Hostetler under heat, sacked for the safety. Bruce Smith.
Hostetler lost it, pulling away from the center. Whether he was stepped on or just tripped, he might have tripped over his.
I think he tripped over Otis. I think he tripped over Otis Anderson.
Otis was getting set to pick up the blitz and did not step up, and Hostetler collided with him.
8 minutes and 27 seconds remaining in the first half. Jeff Hostetler sacked for a safety. His team now down 12-3. Bruce Smith had 19 sacks this season. They came in the first 13 games of the regular year. Much was made about the fact he didn't have any in the last 3 games of the regular season or in the playoffs. For 5 straight games, he didn't have a sack, and then he picked a pretty good time to get off the schneid.
It looked like a sure thing that he was going to beat Mark Gastineau's NFL record of 22, but then a shutout at the end of the season cost him that.
So it's a free kick for Landeta and a booming kick taken at the 15 by Al Edwards, and Lee Rousson comes flying down to make the tackle at the 29-yard line. Back to the safety.
Watch this combination of events here. Go ahead and roll the tape, guys, if you could. Hostetler drifts a little to his left. Anderson doesn't move far enough to the left. Right there, you can see the right foot of Hostetler connecting with the right foot of Otis Anderson. Then watch this. Watch Bruce Smith here from the left grab for the ball. He's got Hostetler's wrist. Jeff senses it, and look at him pull the ball into his chest. The Giants are very fortunate to escape, only losing 2 points to the Bills. That could have been a touchdown.
Buffalo at the 30-yard line, and Jim Kelly airs it out, and it's dropped at the 42-yard line, incomplete. Picked up by Collins, but the play is dead. Andre Reed hit by Guyton to dislodge it. And Guyton telling them all about it.
There's Reed again going against the zone. You see Thompson try to get the little pop in there. He didn't slow him up at all. He gets into the gap. The ball is right in there, and he just drops it.
Back-to-back drops for Reed. This is not the kind of work you normally see for this all-pro receiver. One of the most versatile receivers in the National Football League.
2nd and 10. You saw Jerry Seaman simply resetting the play clock with that upward movement. Kelly on 2nd and 10. McKellar can't make the one-handed catch. Banks covering on the play, and it will be 3rd and 10.
Well, that time McKellar was wide open over the middle, and Kelly just missed him. Reed has dropped one at midfield, and McKellar drops one that is wide open. Now look at him pull up in the zone. He reads it right there. He's wide open, and the ball is just overthrown by Kelly.
3rd and 10. They have to get to the 40-yard line. Kelly stepping up, throwing, incomplete. Giant secondary does its job. McKellar couldn't spring free. 4th down, and the Bills are now 0 for 4 on 3rd down.
And the New York Giants that time did something that they've been talking about doing, but haven't done much of up to now, and that's get a pass rush. They finally forced Jim Kelly to move out of the pocket, and thus the errant pass. But up to this point in time, the Giants have not generated much in the way of a pass rush. You can see that it is not a mobile Jim Kelly that's going to kill you.
Rick Tootin to kick. Dave Meggett, who averaged 10.9 yards per punt return this year, calls for the fair catch back at the 23-yard line. 47-yard kick for Tootin, and the Giants have the ball with 7:53 to play in the first half. Buffalo Bills, as you know, in the Super Bowl for the first time ever. Born in 1960, one of the original American Football League teams. And Marv Levy, a guy who's been around. Phi Beta Kappa from Coe College in Iowa, Masters in History from Harvard. His 12th coaching job, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. First down at the 23-yard line. Anderson with 3 up to the 26.
Giants still apparently trying to stay with their game plan. They came into the ball game only down 12-3, and obviously a shaken player on the field, and we hear the whistles blow.
Jeff Wright,
the nose tackle.
And he'll be replaced by Gary Baldinger. The Bills are very thin up front. Last year they had Fred Smerlis and Art Still, and they're both gone, and they've been replaced by Seals and Wright to form the threesome up there with Smith. Baldinger, the backup 4th-year man out of Wake Forest.
And a brother Brian plays in Indianapolis, and Rich plays at Kansas City. What a family.
2nd and 8. Giants in the 26. It's Cross in motion. Anderson, and Otis fights his way out to the 30-yard line. That's going to set up a 3rd and 4 with 7:10 remaining in the half.
It's not a very sophisticated game plan by the Giants. They're going to run behind Jumbo Elliott. And of course, that's countered by the Bills saying, well, if Elliott's going to move somebody off the line of scrimmage, it's going to have to be Bruce Smith.
Of course, their thinking being that without Elliott, they averaged 118 yards on the ground. When he came back and played, they've been averaging 158 yards on the ground, so they keep banging over there. But now they have put themselves in the pass situation.
3rd and 4 at the 30. Ingram comes in motion to the same side as Baker, and then reverses his direction. And Hostetler has it knocked down, batted down at the line of scrimmage as the Bills penetrated. And it may have been,
I don't know, Leon Seals is acting like he did it.
Yep.
It was just a surge, the Giants offensive line, not giving Hostetler the time. They were right back into his face. Watch number.
That's Leon Seals. It hits him right on the right elbow.
That counts. Watch him go up. Times it out perfectly.
That's why offensive linemen don't like defensive linemen. They can do stuff like that without even getting close to the quarterback.
Landetta's kick, a beauty. That's a 55-yard kick to the 15-yard line, and the fair catch is made by Al Edwards.
Al Edwards signaled for a fair catch when there wasn't anybody close to him. I mean, if it wasn't such a great kick.
I'm thinking about it. When's the last time you saw a fair catch on a 55-yard punt?
Not very often. There's the signal for the fair catch. There's only one man in front of him, and that's just hard to believe that Edwards went ahead and signaled for that fair catch. Roger Brown was the only guy within 20 yards of it.
From the 16-yard line, here's Thurman Thomas picking up the first down. Bounced off his own man Lofton and out to the 34-yard line for a gain of 18.
If you don't like Thurman Thomas, you don't like anything about this game.
He runs so big, doesn't he, Dan?
You ought to be watching soap operas.
198 pounds, and he runs like a 220-pound back, and he's so quick and shifty. Watch him take Lofton out, his own man peck blocking downfield, and then he just looks for Guyton and hammers Guyton.
8 carries, 53 yards for Thomas, and now he's got 9 carries for 57, picking up 4 out to the 38-yard line.
Something about Thomas, so he's kind of self-generating in the third game of the season for us, the Jets and Buffalo. He had 214 yards rushing on that given night, and he just kept getting better the more times they gave it to him.
2nd and 6, and here's Thomas again, their second leading receiver this year, doing what he does best, making people miss, picking up a first down up to the 48-yard line. This drive is a Thomas highlight film.
How about Davis and Hall, the guard in the center that flowed out on the screen, simultaneously drop a pair of giants. There's Kent Hull, the Pro Bowl center, John Davis, the right guard. Boy, what a couple of great blocks.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line from the shotgun. Kelly, that man again, Thomas. And out of bounds at the 45-yard line. A gain of 8. Greg Jackson with the coverage. And Thurman says, I need a break. I need a break.
You know, it's up to Thomas. They're not going to change the offense much because he gets more work than any of the receivers, anyone else in that offensive unit. He's in the pass pattern. He runs the football. He runs on the draw. He runs on the screen. And when he has finally had it, he points the finger to himself, get me out of here, and they bring in help, Kenneth Davis.
Davis is in there. They send him out into the pattern as Kelly goes deep on 2nd and short, and it's incomplete, a double team. James Lofton surrounded by Everson Walls.
That time Walls coming over to help Perry Williams. The Bills have made no secret of it. They want to attack the right corner. Perry Williams looking for single coverage. This time they didn't get it. Williams is 23. He's in coverage with concert with Walls, who drops from the safety to help him out. They beat him earlier on single coverage, and they come back, and this time it doesn't work.
3rd and 2, and there's movement in the line before the snap.
What made it not work also, Frank, was the fact that it was a very poorly thrown pass by Jim Kelly. Way underthrown.
False start prior to the snap. Number 69 offense. Still 3rd down.
That's going to make it 3rd and 7 now. Will Wolford.
Wolford going to the Pro Bowl this year, their talented left tackle. He's lined up on Lawrence Taylor. Offensive tackles are a little unnerved about having to block somebody in a 2-point stance. They almost always are locked up against the defensive end who's down on the ground just like he is. They're very uncomfortable taking on a linebacker, and of course that's what the Giants are giving them now.
3rd and 7. Catch is made, but Andre Reed is short of the first down. At the 45, he is stopped by Carl Banks, and so that penalty was important. It made it 3rd and 7 instead of 3rd and 2, and now it's 4th and 3.
And Banks playing that zone just perfectly. Let him catch the ball underneath and then hammer him. And Reed bounces up, but that hurt. And this is what's been going on all night with Lawrence Taylor. He's attracting a lot of attention. Double pickup on that play.
Well, what's happening?
He sees it all the time.
What's happening, Frank? With only 2 linemen in the game, they're forcing Taylor to play like the 3rd lineman.
Putin's kick. Meggett is back to call for the fair catch. Make it at the 12-yard line. That is a 32-yard kick, and the Giants once again begin a drive deep in their own territory with 3:49 to go in the half, and Buffalo up by 9.
And even when the Bills have not been able to rout the Giants here early on, they moved the ball so well that when they are forced to punt, they're punting up close to midfield, and the Giants starting deep in their own territory.
From the 13-yard line, Hostetler on a roll, hits Bavaro. He's banged down by Shane Conlon after a gain of about 6. Well, that was such a big play last week by Bavaro in that championship game in San Francisco. So many plays talked about, and Barr, of course, and Hostetler and the rest. But what about that 19-yard pass to Bavaro to set up the Barr field goal at the end?
Hostetler chased out of the pocket. That's what he does so well. And then coming up with another one to Baker to set up that game-winning field goal. But they're struggling at the moment.
2nd and 4 from the 19-yard line. Conlon had to come out, and Bailey spells him, and Anderson exploits a hole, takes it to the 36. The kind of charge the Giants are looking for, getting them out of a hole here. First down up at the 36-yard line.
Now that's the kind of movement that a lot of people weren't sure that Otis Anderson still was capable of at this age. He wants to run off left guard. He sees nothing. He's going to jump all the way back around Riesenberg, the right tackle. And of course, Mark Kelso makes a mistake here. He comes in and takes on Otis Anderson a little too high. I mean, that is just an excellent piece of running by O.J. Anderson.
Tomlin back in for Buffalo. First down to the 37. 2:27 to go in the half. Hostetler pressured by Smith. Throws, and open is Ingram along the sidelines. First down. And Smith is there over the fallen Hostetler, but Jeff once again gets up.
Ingram with a good move. He made a sideline pattern out of it. Hostetler kind of looked him downfield. Here he is. He takes another tremendous shot from Smith, but he delivers the ball to the outside end, beats Nate Odoms. Smith coming slashing down again on Hostetler. Just powering through Jumbo Elliott. Gets to him just as he releases the ball.
2:05 remaining in the half. Ingram is in motion, and the Giants do get the play off before the 2-minute warning as Meggett takes it inside the 30 to the 25, where Leonard Smith makes the tackle. And the clock stops for the 2-minute warning, which comes officially with 1:55 remaining in the half. Norm and Dolly Hostetler. They've seen a few football games in their time. Jeff Hostetler's brothers, Ron, Doug, and Todd, all played football at Penn State. Their daughter-in-law is the daughter of West Virginia coach Don Nehlen. They're looking on as their son has a first down at the 25-yard line and retreats to throw, and then Carthen can't handle it. Had to stretch for it, and it's incomplete. Second and 10 of the 25 with 1:50 left on the clock and 2 timeouts remaining for New York.
Maurice Carthen, as good a runner and blocker as he is, you don't not necessarily want him handling the football. If you watched the 49er game last week, dropping the certain touchdown in the end zone, mishandling another one, but he brings much more than that to this team. One of the best blocking backs in the league.
I think the reason he dropped it last week is Meggett threw it, right? Maybe he was considering the source.
Meggett should have thrown that one. That ball was way high.
Second and 10 at the 25-yard line. Smith is taken out of the play, and he comes right back to Carthen for a 4-yard gain to the 21. Shane Conlon makes the stop. Clock keeps rolling. 1:38 left. Going to be third and about 7.
Well, this is where the Giants so many times are prone to call a bootleg with Jeff Hostetler. Cornelius Bennett told us that anytime that bootleg comes, he expects it to come his way, away from Bruce Smith. And you can see for yourself, Bill Parcells wants to take a timeout.
1 minute 13 seconds remaining in the first half. Buffalo on top 12-3. And the Giants with the football at the 21-yard line. Third and 7. Cross in motion. Hostetler to throw. Open man at the 15-yard line is Cross, and he has enough for the first down after he gets up, moves forward. Odoms makes the tackle, and they'll move the chains.
Cross was just let free off the line of scrimmage. No backer with him, and he had just about lost it when he dove for the ball, and there wasn't any bill close enough to keep him from spinning and making certain of the first down.
Yeah, Hostetler has just been off in throwing the ball. That might have been a touchdown if he threw it and led Cross.
39 seconds and 1 timeout. Hostetler has it batted down. Cornelius Bennett leaping up and volleyballing it to the turf.
But again, Hostetler is rolling the way the Bills are expecting it. They are expecting Hostetler to roll towards Bennett away from Bruce Smith. And Bennett sees this right off the bat, moves, look at it, look at the angle he's taking, and times his leap perfectly.
When I say volleyball, I mean spike it.
Right. And that angle that you saw Bennett take comes from looking at a lot of tape, a lot of films. And that was a very good move on his part. He took the complete roll away from Hostetler, and then, being the great athlete he is, was able to get up and bat it down.
They're going to have to roll the other direction towards Smith a couple times at least.
2nd and 10. Pressure on Hostetler, but he throws too low. Intended for Stephen Baker, who went to the turf, but the pass skipped to him. 3rd down.
And that's a touchdown if it's a good throw.
He was open. Baker was open for a moment, and Hostetler was late getting there to begin with, and then tried to squeeze it in. The coverage was there with Mark Kelso.
That's the Ron Earhart, the offensive coordinator, works on it. The perfect coverage for the pass route called. It's just the ball severely underthrown. Kelso is way behind Baker. No chance to prevent a touchdown with a good throw.
There's the brain trust. Ron Earhart far right for you.
Offensive coordinator of the Giants. 3rd down, 10 at the 14. 30 seconds remaining in the half. Hostetler throws. Touchdown. Stephen Baker.
And he beats the main man, Nate Odoms.
And that was a perfect throw. After 3 or 4 poorly thrown balls, Jeff Hostetler hits one right where it's supposed to be.
And maybe more importantly, he had time to throw the ball. A breaking pattern to the outside, all the way to the outside, takes a lot of time. Look at the protection he gets. Jumbo Elliott doing a job on Smith. And then right on target is Hostetler to Baker, beating Nate Odoms.
They're going to review it because the umpire has just signaled for a stoppage.
Let's watch the feet closely of Stephen Baker. There is, oh, he's in.
Yeah.
That's easy. That's excellent work by Baker. That's a touchdown all the way.
One clearly down, and he
After
dragged
further review of instant replay, the play stands. Touchdown.
A very quiet night for the replay officials. That's nice.
That's an 87-yard drive for the Giants. Barr tries to put them within 2. Hostetler puts it down, and the difference in the game right now is a safety. 25 seconds remaining in the first half. Super Bowl 25 in Tampa. 12-10 Buffalo.
Talked about the size of Megat at 5'7". Out on the flank, Stephen Baker goes 5'8". But he has extraordinary speed that the defender has got to take into account when he tries to cover him.
Marv Levy, and next to him, Ted Marchibroda, their offensive coordinator. Bills have all of their timeouts left, but no time to use them because we have only 25 ticks. Clock starts as soon as a Bill touches the ball. Matt Barr sends it to the 4-yard line. Juggled, picked up by Don Smith. He comes back out to the 13-yard line. Renee Thompson, who will be going to the Pro Bowl as a special teamer, makes the tackle. And you would think Buffalo will be content just to run out the clock and go into the locker room with a 2-point advantage.
Yeah, given the mishandling of the football and the poor field position, I wouldn't expect the Bills to run the risk of letting their quarterback take a hit by standing in the pocket to throw a deep pass. But even if it's a long ball that's intercepted, it's still only going to take one play for the Giants and maybe only like 15 yards to get into field goal range. So it's not worth it.
No.
For the Giants, that long drive is something nice that they can take into the locker room. A lot better than going in 12-3, I can assure you. And all of a sudden they were able to move the ball against the defense, something they've struggled to do all night long, and they moved it well. It'll give them quite a lift.
So Kelly ends the first half with a kneel down. The Buffalo Bills lead 12-10. Phil Simms, what's his future? Well, Bill Parcells will address that eventually. But when they go to training camp next year, Simms is the grizzled veteran, and we'll see if Hostetler is wearing a Super Bowl championship ring.
Dan and I talked to him right before the game, Al. There's no question in our minds he's going to continue to play this game.
Buffalo to kick it off. Norwood puts it in the air. It's taken at the 9-yard line by Dave Megat. And he comes back out to the 25. Carwell Gardner, the rookie, makes the tackle. And the Giants down by 2 begin from there. One other number as Hostetler comes in that you saw on the graphic with the halftime stats, no turnovers for either team. The Giants this year, with only 14 turnovers in the entire regular season, became the first team in the history of the NFL to average less than 1 turnover a game.
Plus 20 on that turnover ratio. That's pretty remarkable.
First and 10 from the 25-yard line. That's Mark Ingram in motion. Fake to Anderson. Hostetler rolls right, gets it away, and it's incomplete. It was looking for a cross.
At the risk of belaboring the point, again we see Cornelius Bennett involved in a rollout by Jeff Hostetler, but again the rollout was to the right side. They are playing right into the hands of the Buffalo defense, expecting Hostetler to come that way. You see the bump on cross, and then Bennett comes upfield and puts the pressure and forces a bad throw. But Hostetler is going to have to roll left, even if it's into the face of Bruce Smith, just to keep the defense honest.
In the defensive attack, he is a right-handed passer and can, of course, release it much more quickly rolling right.
But every right-handed quarterback still has to be able to roll left.
2nd and 10, and this play is dead. Contact before the snap. Jerry Seaman refereeing his last game. He becomes the NFL's supervisor of officials, replacing the retiring Art McDally next season.
False start prior to the snap. Number 61 offense. Still 2nd down.
Bob Cratch.
Cratch, who got a lot of work last week in the 49er game. And relief of Eric Moore over the right side, and one of Bill Parcells' favorites. And could have a long run here with the Giants. Good guard, the 61 Bob Cratch.
2nd and 15 at the 20-yard line. Just the start of the 3rd quarter. Bills leading 12-10. Meggett and Anderson in the backfield. Ingram in motion. Rolling left now, dumps it off from Meggett. Out past the 25, tripped up at the 29. Nate Odom makes the stop. Going to be about 6 yards short of the first.
Good effective screen, though, and it does a couple of things. The Bills have to play it as a pass. They have to continue that all-out rush, and somewhere along the line, things are going to get a little fatigued. And here Bruce Smith again, powering into Jumbo Elliott. He moves him into the inside, and Meggett, with a couple of blockers in front of him, gets it back over to the original line of scrimmage. But it'll be 3rd and long.
Make it 3rd and 8 now because they've respotted back at the 27. That's where his knee initially hit, at the 27-yard line. Hostetler from the shotgun hits Meggett. Meggett breaks a tackle and turns it into a 1st down.
If you haven't been watching this young man all season long, he's been doing it all year long. Little man, 180 pounds, but so much of that weight in the thighs and in the legs, and he can kick through tackles as he does right here. He breaks the tackle of Clifford Hicks, who tries to come up, spins out of that number 27, knows where that 1st down is, and gets it.
11-yard pickup. 1st down at the 37-yard line. They call Meggett's number again. Twists his way out to the 42-yard line, and Ray Bentley makes the tackle there.
These are the things that Al touched on earlier in the game that Rodney Hampton would be doing had he not suffered that broken fibula. And he's unavailable, so Meggett is not only doing double duty, he's in there Wrigley, not on the specialty team. He's in there where ordinarily a Hampton would be, or an Otis Anderson. Remarkable numbers for this season.
61 touches this year, rushing and receiving, the majority on 3rd down. Pretty much a 3rd down specialist, but again, in the absence of Hampton, the role is expanded. 2nd and 5, and Anderson plows forward before Bentley and Seals push him back. He will be about a yard short of the 1st down as they'll spot it just outside the 46-yard line.
Dan over here shaking his head. He is remarkable, isn't he? Otis Anderson, 34 years old, and he did that much on his own.
Well, it's just the type of football that exacts a toll from a defensive team. This bruising, punishing style of football. And of course, Otis Anderson at 225, he looks closer to 240 when you see him. He is bigger than he looks, but this is the type of football that wears a team out.
Three tight ends, 3rd and 1. Anderson again. Anderson into Buffalo territory, and Anderson all the way to the 30-yard line. Is he 34 or 24?
He is both, but he doesn't act like it. What a huge hole to the left side. The 3 tight end offense, a tremendous double team by Bavaro and by Howard Cross. And look at Otis Anderson throw the uppercut. Mark Kelso comes in to make the hit. Look at him wind up. I mean, that is a punishing job of running. Who says just because you're an offensive player that you have to take the shot?
Anderson and Carthen in the backfield. That was a 24-yard pickup. It's first down at the 29. Maurice Carthen down to the 25-yard line for a gain of 4. Jeff Wright makes the tackle.
I mean, even that run by Carthen, did you notice where he was first hit by 2 Buffalo defenders, but where he ends up on the ground was a good 2 to 3 yards farther down the field. It doesn't look like much, but I want you to watch. Where's the first contact? He's outside Smith. There's the hit, but watch where Maurice Carthen hits the ground. Another 3 yards. That adds up. That ends up translating into points.
Second and 5 from the 24-yard line. Cross in motion. Meggett. First down. Flag down.
Now Mark Bavaro was the block at the point of attack.
And maybe the holder, too.
He might have been the holder. He's isolated on Cornelius Bennett, the outside linebacker to that side. A lot of pressure on a tight end to have to make that single block.
Number 89 offense, still second down.
I mean, the whole play depends upon one block. There's Bavaro. He gets a little bit to the outside on Bennett. He gets his hands out there. This will give us the definitive look. You can see that left hand. That's going to bring the flag. I mean, he really didn't grab him and pull him to the ground, but that is a legitimate call. An outstanding rushing by the Giants. Over 6 yards per carry tonight.
League average this year was 4.1 per rush. And no team has averaged 6 against Buffalo this season. Hostetler steps up and turns a little something out of nothing as he takes it to the 32-yard line. Wright and Pike in on the tackle, and it's going to be 3rd down and about 13 as the Giants have controlled the ball here at the outset of the 3rd quarter. Typical Giant drive. They've taken close to 6 minutes off the clock already.
And where they are right now, one would not expect that Bill Parcells would let Matt Barr go for the field goal.
No, they would have a 50-yarder from where they are right now. That's that is
46,
beyond
47 for Matt, particularly off the grass, because you'll lose just a little bit off that.
Third and 13 at the 32-yard line. Hostetler throwing. It's caught by Ingram. He has to get to the 19 for a first down, and he does.
Oh. Every now and then in a football game rather, you can look back to a play and it might set the tone for everything that happens after that. If the Giants win this game, they may look back to this catch and run by Mark Ingram.
You won't say any better, Dan. He turns into a receiver, into a runner, and he knows exactly where the first down yardage is, and he gets it.
We talked to Hostetler the other day and asked him if he felt more comfortable with any one receiver over the others. He said, Ingram, he works harder for me. He did there on 3rd and 13. It's first down at the 18-yard line. Anderson to the 14. It'll be 2nd and 6. Mike Lodish makes the tackle in a skirmish.
Well, Otis reacting to Mark Kelso. The free safety of the Bills coming in and hitting him well after the whistle. Ray Bentley is also there. Both of these guys took a shot at Anderson when he was already on the ground.
This drive started at the 25, and talk about shortening the game. 7:47 remaining here in the third quarter. And there is the struggle inside the 15 of the late hit.
Well, Anderson's got a legitimate beef. I mean, he's down on the ground, and Ray Bentley and Kelso both come in and give him a pretty good pop.
2nd and 6 at the 14-yard line. Meggett taken down by Bennett, Cornelius Bennett.
He's such a fine athlete. He reacted, moved off the block, and Meggett, with all of his quickness, could not get away from him.
Well, again, it's Bavaro working on Bennett, but you can't coach this type of athletic ability. You can tell a guy to do something, you can point him in the right direction, but some guys just get there quicker than others. And Cornelius Bennett might get there quicker than any outside linebacker in the game. That is not the product of great coaching.
3rd and a short 4 from inside the 12. 6:49 to go, third quarter. 12-10 Buffalo. Hostetler, a little dump off to Cross. First down at the 3.
There's your roll, Dan.
And look what happened. The Buffalo Bills are overplaying Hostetler's bootlegs to the right.
And the big man, Smith, was standing on the line of scrimmage then. No pressure into the backfield.
Yeah, you know, they fear Bruce Smith and rolling away from him into Bennett. I'd start shying away from Bennett and doing exactly this. You see that Bruce Smith didn't get near the pressure on the quarterback that Bennett has been getting when they've been rolling the other direction.
1st and goal at the 3. 13th play of the drive coming up. The Bills have not had the ball in the second half. Anderson to the 1. And remember, the Giants closed the first half with an 87-yard drive. There's the time remaining in the third quarter. Buffalo has not had the football. A 9-minute drive.
The kind of drive that makes football coaches just light up with glee or chew their gum even faster than normal. This is a tremendous drive by the New York Giants. This is a championship drive. Look at that, over 9 minutes. This is a Super Bowl drive.
2nd and goal at the 1. Touchdown Anderson.
That is one of the great drives in Super Bowl history. That was physical domination.
Blocked by Carthen, just enough for Anderson. Take back to the 3rd and long of Ingram. And he spun and twisted for that first.
9:29. Dan talking about it being one of the greatest drives in Super Bowl history. It was the longest drive in the 25-year history of the Super Bowl. 5 minutes and 31 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Giants have taken the lead 17-12. Barr to kickoff. And Buffalo will have the ball for the first time in the second half. At the 7-yard line, Al Edwards with a nice run back all the way out to the 40-yard line. Buffalo begins this drive at the 40-yard line. The best field position following the kick for any team or either team in this game. From the 40-yard line, Kelly hands the ball to Thurman Thomas. And Thomas out to the 48, stopped by Greg Jackson. 2nd and 2.
You want to talk about a couple of cold teams? The offensive team of the Bills and the defensive team of the Giants haven't played football for over an hour. An extended halftime and then that drive by the Giants offense, and the fact that the Giants offense finished up the first half. Bill Belichick's crew hasn't been on the field in a long time. 2nd and 2 as Jim Kelly has his receivers covered and then moves for a first down, stopped by Jackson at the New York 45-yard line. 4:44 remaining in the third quarter. Funny, the Giants appeared to be on the ropes, down 12-3. Buffalo had the ball.
But then that long drive at the end of the first half and the big drive at the start of the second half. And they have the lead by 5 as Thomas picks up a tough 2 to the 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Bills looking across the line of scrimmage. They're seeing what they were seeing in the first half, and that's 2 down linemen, and they feel they should be able to run the ball. They should be able to blow off the line and blow out the 4 linebackers that are in there. So it's 2 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs most of the way for the Giants.
2nd and 8. And incomplete as Jackson was all over Reed. Reed is looking for a flag, and there is one. But on the other side of the field, it's on the near side of the field.
But I think that'll be the call out. He was looking at it all the way. Bills continuing to go with what works for them too, and that's Reed coming across under the zone. Jackson, number 47.
Pass interference. Number 84 offense. Still 2nd down.
Well, they're calling it on McKellar. It's offensive pass interference. It was away from the play.
So Jackson gets away with one, and they call offensive pass interference and back him up.
Levy said, what in the world is that about? 2nd down and 18 as Kelly throws to the far side, and that's incomplete. Good coverage that time. The intended receiver, Al Edwards, covered by Perry Williams. 3rd and 18.
The one thing the Giants are doing a tremendous job of tonight is they're making the Buffalo receivers pay whether they catch the football or not. We've got a flag down on the field, and now Buffalo is going to be called for offensive holding, which will back them up if they take the penalty.
I suspect they'll decline
Number
it.
65 offense.
Right.
Penalty decline. 3rd down.
Right. There's no need to take that. But when you stop to think about it, every time a Buffalo receiver has been anywhere near the football, he's been pounded. And we saw Andre Reed in the first half look a little gun shy about catching some of the passes, and now not much success so far here in the second half.
Yeah, when you're playing 4 linebackers and 5 defensive backs in that zone defense, you're trying to come under low on a crossing pattern. You are going to get hit by big people.
And when you get them down to 3rd and 18, you also take them out of the no-huddle offense. Buffalo after huddling. 3rd and 18. Kelly under pressure. Kelly gets sacked. Leonard Marshall. He had 2 last week. The big one against Montana.
Oh, they sent something too, Al. You got a 87-yard drive before the half, a 75-yard drive by your offense, and that does a lot of things for your defense. This is a fired-up Giants defense at the moment. Here's Kelly, no receiver, good coverage downfield. He had the time to get rid of it, but when you get sacked with a 2-man defensive line and no blitzing, you're in trouble.
Rick Tootin with a bad kick, an angled kick that goes out of bounds up and around the 40-yard line. So the Giants get another big break. It's out of bounds at the 42. Giants have it. The time of possession about doubled. The Giants controlling the football here in the 3rd quarter. That long drive, they held Buffalo. They take over at the 42, and Hostetler rolls to his left. Pitch cross, a nice move by Cross. And Cross is close to a 1st down at the 48-yard line, tackled by Odoms.
Dan, you want to take up coaching because it's certainly working. Here's a man looking on George Young, who is responsible for the wealth of talent they have out on the field as Giants. In 1979, he came in, and he has been drafting beautifully over the years. His first player that he took was Phil Simms. In 1981, he took Lawrence Taylor, and he built offense and defense from that. He's done a great job.
1st down, Giants at the 48-yard line.
Well, even more importantly, right here, Bill Parcells and Ron Earhart have made some subtle adjustments offensively for the New York Giants that are really paying off. Moving Hostetler to the left is only one of them. They've changed some blocking schemes up front, and boy, they are really starting to hum.
48-yard line on 1st down. Flag is thrown. The pass is off the fingertips of Baker. And it's a holding call against the Bills, and that's an automatic 1st down.
That'll be against Nate Odoms. I think that's Nate Odoms, the corner to that side.
Not always true of it so often.
Holding. Number 37 defense. 1st down.
So often when you're struggling, you have to get yourself in these situations. There is Odom against Baker, no question, as he almost tore the jersey off and brought the flag.
5-yard penalty, automatic first. Bills offense, they haven't had very much to do here over the past hour and 5 minutes or so, as the Giants have controlled the football. Anderson can't get going.
Now there's a run by Otis Anderson that you just don't see much anymore. He seldom gets strung out. He wanted to take it inside, didn't see it, but normally he'll just put his head and his shoulder down and buck up into the line and pick up a couple of yards. That's a very, very uncharacteristic look at Otis Anderson. There he normally would just head upfield. That is a change that Otis Anderson has made in his running style over the years that has paid great dividends for the New York Giants.
2nd and 10. Here's Hostetler. Chased by Smith, then runs out of bounds at about the 42-yard line. Minimal gain.
Great athletic move on the part of Smith. That Smith has been going full speed all out tonight, chasing first the rollout in the first half going the other way, and now they're coming at him with it. That time he got caught inside. He had to work his way back out. This is a full wind sprint for Bruce Smith.
It's the old athletic terminology. Right now Bruce Smith is sucking big wind because he has to be exhausted.
And he's the heart of this defense, Dan. He steps in that defensive huddle and he's sucking. The head is down, and it affects the entire defensive team.
How close.
3rd and 11 at the 44. 2 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Giants up by 5 from the shotgun. Hostetler to the open man. It's Ingram, but he is short of the first down. He's out of bounds at the 35. It's 4th and 2. Leonard Smith with the tackle.
Oh, and a great pickup on the part of the Giants offensive line, and they're back stepping up to pick up the blitz, and that left Ingram man on man. He is coming up short of the first down and probably should have worked it upfield, but Hostetler had good protection and could have held it just a beat and got the first down.
It's the same blitz that the Bills used in the first quarter very effectively, where Clifford Hicks lines up as a cornerback and then comes on the blitz. I'm telling you, the Giants offensively are making a lot of great adjustments, and Bill the Gambler goes again.
Yep. And the Giants, who've been terrific on 4th down in the playoffs, go for it on 4th and 2, but not this time. 6 Bills, as if for emphasis, drive Anderson to the turf and give Buffalo the ball back.
And guess who's there? Let's try Bruce Smith, who single-handedly makes this play. Confusion at the point of attack by the Giants. Here's Elliott. He's going to block down. Here's Bavaro. He's going to move over here to the outside. Hey, nobody bothers to block this guy. And when you don't block that guy, you don't have a play. I mean, there's Bruce Smith left all alone, and Otis Anderson, well, he's in disbelief himself that there's nothing there.
Well, whether it was wishful thinking or not, everybody, I guess, goes into the Super Bowl saying it's not going to be a one-sided game. And so far, this is anything but.
No, but it has been a game that since the end of the second quarter has belonged to the New York Giants.
Yes. Kelly to Thomas. Thomas with a spin move. Close to a first down. Out to about the 47-yard line. So the Giants have been so successful gambling on 4th down. That wasn't a true gamble in the sense that Parcells has been known to do it in the past, but still could be a very key play as Buffalo takes over here and tries to mount a drive.
Certainly a lot of emotional value. Al, we talked about the emotional value of the long drive, the 75 and the 87 for the Giants, but that certainly is going to help the Buffalo offense.
2nd and 1, and that's Kenneth Davis taking it from Kelly, picking up the first down out to the 50-yard line with 42 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Gary Reasons makes the stop.
Well, the other interesting thing for Buffalo right now is the fact that they've been having their way with everybody lately. I mean, 51 points against the Raiders, 44 against Miami. They lose the last game of the season in a game that means nothing to Washington. I mean, these guys haven't faced any adversity in a while. They're not used to not succeeding.
They also haven't faced the type of linebackers that the Giants have either. Davis, 19-yard gain, and then fumbles the ball out of bounds.
Although I think they'll probably rule that the ball didn't come out until he went down.
And that will end the 3rd quarter. Super Bowl 25, fourth quarter beginning. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, and Dan Dierdorf before more than 73,000 at Tampa Stadium. 17-12 Giants. Bills 1st and 10 at the New York 31-yard line. Kelly from the shotgun, flanked by Thomas. Gives to Thomas. And Thurman breaking tackles at the 22, inside the 10, touchdown Buffalo.
Al, you mentioned earlier in the day the name of Thurman Thomas. He got good blocking at the line, broke a tackle, and then got one from Andre Reed downfield. Jim Richer with one at the line of scrimmage. But then Andre Reed made one happen downfield. He knocks down Everson Walls, and
Giants continue to go with that 2-down line too, and the Bills have been pecking. Finally, they get a runner through the linebackers, and a great effort by Thurman Thomas.
He broke through Thompson to get sprung to give Buffalo the lead. Norwood with the extra point. And with 14:52 to play in regulation, Buffalo leads by 2. None of the Bills fans need them at the moment. They're standing because their team now leads 19-17 with Norwood to kick off. Meggett can't get on track. Dave Meggett is tackled up at the 23-yard line. 1st and 10. The Giants have it at the 23-yard line. They had the early lead 3-0. Buffalo then went out in front 12-3. The Giants came back to lead 17-12, and now it's Buffalo by a deuce. Anderson to 3. OJ out to the 26-yard line. Tackled by Seals. And let's go back to the touchdown run, the longest run of the game. 31 yards by TT.
And keep in mind the Giants staying with their 2-down linemen, and that had much to do with it. Look at it from the end zone. They blow away the 2-down lineman, and then Thomas just on his own, bouncing off tacklers into the end zone. Bill's just zoning along that line and blowing the linebackers out of there.
2nd and 7 at the 26-yard line. Ingram in motion. Fake to Anderson. Nice block to buy Hostetler some time. Then under pressure, he throws it away, as Jeff Wright finally was able to get in and knock him down. Jeff Wright, number 91. And Hostetler slow and rising once more.
That's one of the reasons that Jeff Wright replaced Fred Smerlas as nose tackle of the Bills, because of the added mobility and agility he brings to the position. Jeff had 5 sacks during the regular season, and it's not often that you'll see a nose tackle that's capable of putting consistent pressure on a quarterback. Jeff Wright is one of those nose tackles.
Right now you need a pass, probably a rollout pass for the Giants. You need it from kind of a shaken Jeff Hostetler.
3rd and 7 to the 26. Bills by 2. 13:56 to play. Oates looking back at Hostetler. Play clock is down to 2-1. They get it off. And Hostetler throws, and it's caught by Bavaro for a big first down to the 43. Dragged to the turf by Shane Conlon.
He is a money player, Mark Bavaro, and very important first down for the Giants.
Well, and a good read by Hostetler of seeing the matchup that he had. I mean, they're making Conlon play like a cornerback, 6 yards off the line of scrimmage, and having to play a tight end like that. A very unnatural position for Shane Conlon, a middle linebacker. I mean, that's smart by Hostetler of seeing that matchup and taking advantage of it. Shane's going, hey, don't do me any favors, Walt. Talking to Walt Corey, his defensive coordinator.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Hostetler sends Ingram in motion, shadowed by Odoms. Anderson cuts it back. Jackson makes the tackle. He gets to the 50-yard line. Gain of 7.
Oh, and Otis is a little upset with himself for making that little juke to the outside instead of really steamrolling it up through the hole.
We talked about his tendency in his early days, Dan, to take it to the outside. This time he might have leaked back in there just for a moment. He caught himself and he said, I'm going to turn this sucker up right here.
Yeah,
just a fraction late.
If he'd have just rounded it right off the hip of his blocker, That might have been a 20-yard pickup.
84 yards on the ground for Anderson tonight. 98 for his counterpart Thomas. Here's Carthen. That should be enough for a first down as he takes it to the 47-yard line.
Carthen doesn't
12:40 to play.
carry it that often, but back in his days with the New Jersey Generals, when Herschel Walker was hurt in one season, he was a 1,000-yard rusher for them. So he can move it.
The Giants this season, when leading after 3 periods of play, undefeated, and they were leading after 3. But the Bills scored more points in the fourth quarter this year than any team in the NFL. In fact, more points in that quarter than any team scored in any quarter. And Buffalo leads by 2. First down at the 46-yard line. Off the fake. Over the middle, Bavaro again for a first down to the 27-yard line. Tackled by Leonard Smith.
There's that seam pass that we were talking about before the game, Frank, with Phil Simms. He said at least once they had him in the first series of the ball game. Remember, and Hostetler overthrew a wide open Mark Bavaro, but not this time.
And this time he doesn't. And Bavaro and Hostetler were right in concert there because he had to throw underneath the coverage and over the linebackers, and he was perfect with it.
And meanwhile, Bavaro is hurt. He's on his knees on the Giants sideline. So Bavaro is out of the game after taking that hit. Howard Cross comes in, and there's Mark as the Giants have a first down at the 27-yard line.
He might have got the wind knocked out of him. He fell right on that leg with his stomach.
He looked like he fell on the ball, too.
Carthen in motion. Hostetler protected well, throws, finds Ingram to the 14-yard line. First down. He thought for just a second about lateraling the ball to Carthen, nearly provoking a Parcells heart attack. And there's Leonard Smith shaken up.
Leonard Smith, the hard hitter of the Buffalo secondary. I don't know if he took his helmet off or if it was knocked off. Let's watch the conclusion of the play. Ingram right here thinks about tossing it. Decides better.
Timeout because of the Smith injury. It'll be first down at the 14 when we come back. First down, 14-yard line, 10:45 to go. Anderson. Stopped by Drain at the 10-yard line. Pick up a 4.
Al, you mentioned the biggest catch of the night being that touchdown reception by Baker. Remember that reception by Ingram where he got the first down. What did he get, like 19 yards or so to pick up a first down, breaking tackles and fighting, and that was in that long drive, the 9.5-minute drive. Another wasn't a touchdown, but it was vital. And meanwhile, the New York Giants, when they have to, mustering up another drive.
3 tight ends, 2nd and 6. Fake to Anderson. Bennett chases Hostetler. He throws to Bavaro. He breaks a tackle by Conlon, but then Smith, who's back in the game, is right there to make sure he doesn't go any further.
Cornelius Bennett taking a good angle on Hostetler and making certain that he did not get outside where he would have had an option to either run the ball or throw the ball. And he had to throw it because Bennett made a good move on it.
Hostetler takes another shot from Bennett. I don't know how many more rollouts Jeff Hostetler has in him physically. He's taking a pounding, as is this guy.
Huge play for the Giants coming up, and so Parcells decides to take a timeout. 9:37 remaining in regulation. Buffalo leads 19-17. Critical play for the Giants here. 3rd and 5 at the 9-yard line.
And here we have a 2-point ball game, and we haven't had a turnover in this ball game yet either. Well, you'd have to think that the first turnover might be an extremely critical one. It's going to come late in the ball game if it comes, and it's going to come with one team ahead by less than a touchdown.
Jerry Seaman signals the ball ready for play. 3rd and 5, just inside the 9. Baker split left, Ingram to the right. Meggett and Carthen in the backfield. It's Meggett behind a Carthen block. Should have the first down. They have to get to the 3.5, as you can see.
Carson turned back to the inside and really laid a haymaker that sprung it for Megan.
And Mark Bavaro put an influence block on Cornelius Bennett. He acted like he was trying to cut him off to the inside.
Stood him up.
Never tried to hook him, but just tied him up long enough that Bennett couldn't get in on the play. Boy, now that's a veteran block by Bavaro. You call it an influence block or a negative block, where you make it look like you're trying to keep him going one way when it's actually the way you want him to go.
Ray Bentley, meanwhile,
defensive players will fight that pressure. Let's look at it again. Bottom of your screen there on the inside. Watch Bavaro. Gets to the inside. Bennett figures that Megan's got to come inside. Gets a block from Carson and gets the first down.
Bentley limped off. Bailey replaces him at inside linebacker. First and goal. And the tackle is made by Jeff Wright. Big play. Otis Anderson knocked down back at the 7.
Well, I just talked about the quickness that Wright brings to the game. And there's an excellent illustration.
You won't find many nose tackles sliding down that line that quickly. Big number 91, and he goes 290 pounds. Look at him with great speed.
It's almost as if the Giant blocking scheme was letting Wright alone, thinking that, hey, he's just a nose guard. He's not quick enough to get into this play going outside.
Second and goal at the 7. 8:15 to play. Anderson follows Carson. Gets it back to about the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and goal from just outside the 3. Stopped by Conlon. Bailey and Conlon collaborate on the tackle. 8 minutes to play.
Chess game being played now on both sides of the field. Parcells deciding on what he's going to call. Will he take the chance? Let Hofstetter go with the roll, put the ball in the air. Meanwhile, Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator on the other side, is trying to think with him. George Young, the man who brought all this talent to the Giants, ponders the situation.
3rd and goal. Baker split left, Ingram right. Cross is slotted to the right. Hostetler has it knocked down at the 10-yard line by Bennett. So Buffalo holds, but now the Giants can still take the lead on a bar field goal.
Another athletic move by Bennett. He has been a fly in the Giants offense all night long and been a force when he's needed to be. But watch this, going high in the air to bat it away, save the completion.
I don't think the Giants,
he almost intercepted it,
have got anything less than 7 to 10 yards every time they roll left. They have been flirting with disaster when they've been rolling to the right.
Giants trying to take the lead on a bar field goal from 21 yards. Hostetler to put it down. Barr's kick is good, and New York once again has the lead. It's the 4th lead change in the game. 7:20 remaining, 4th quarter. 4 lead changes in the game. The Giants at the moment up by 1. Kelly in the offense ready to come back in. Barr puts it in the air. Fielded at the 8 by Don Smith. Brought back to the 20. Roger Brown makes the tackle. Time of possession. Let's check that out. The Giants about a 2.5 to 1 ratio.
That is truly incredible, that time of possession. Of course, reflecting a 75-yard drive and an 87-yard drive. Teddy Marchibroda, the offensive coordinator. This is not his type of offense. He's very conservative, but he's got this quarterback, and the offense does reflect Jim Kelly. He's a swashbuckler. He likes to go fast, get things moving, and this is his offense.
Here's Thurman Thomas. This one has the feeling of the kind of game that whoever has the ball last. Thomas now is over 100 yards. He's carried 13 times for 102 yards.
Well, Thomas and Otis Anderson certainly have delivered everything that they were expected to do.
It's about 8 yards to carry. Kelly protected well. Thomas again. Thurman does it all. Mark Collins makes the tackle. When we say does it all, he runs with the ball. He's proven that. He catches the ball as well. Second leading receiver on the team, 49 receptions during the regular year.
2 down linemen, no pressure on Kelly. Look at all this time. He looks one receiver, looks back off backside, comes all the way to the back, and still he could have looked to another receiver. No pressure at all. And Belichick comes with a blitz,
which Kelly avoids, but still the secondary does its job, and Kelly is forced to run out of bounds. Johnson forcing him out up at the 40-yard line. 6:13 remaining.
I guess it's a case that you can't have everything you want. Bill Belichick is electing to stay in that deep zone, hoping to punish the receivers when they come underneath. But there is the risk that if your guys up front don't beat their guys one-on-one, you're not going to get much of a pass rush.
2nd down and 9. Davis goes next to nowhere. Up at the 41. The Giants from time to time tonight subtly have been kicking the ball and trying to delay it just a little bit. Before that last play, Leonard Marshall moved it with his foot just to buy a little time, and the Giants tried to do it again there.
Yeah, they were warned that time. Banks was warned about kicking the ball, delaying the game.
3rd down and 8. Kelly throws, and it is not caught. Broken up by Williams. A big-time hit on Al Edwards to force the punt.
And it was Perry Williams, who has been hurt tonight a couple of times, coming up to make the stop. And he is single coverage against a very speedy receiver. Has to play him for the first down. He plays him short, and that is a big-time pop.
5:35 to go. 4th and 8. Tootin to kick. Meggett back to receive at the 20-yard line. Meggett at the 13. It's a 46-yard punt. And tripped up at the 30-yard line by Steve Tasker, who's going to the Pro Bowl as a special teamer.
And it's a good thing Tasker does. Dave Meggett had a colossal hole. If Tasker doesn't knock him down,
Can he accelerate? Led the NFC in punt returns, and that could have been the distance.
well,
Strap it on, Bruce.
A lot of pressure on Bruce and company.
And let's start thinking about timeouts now here. The Giants have 2 left. The Bills have 3 left. They have all of them remaining. If the Giants can pick up a first down, then Buffalo might have to get into a position to start taking their timeouts. We've got 5:25 remaining. O.J. Anderson out to about the 35-yard line. And now the Giants will take as much time off that play clock as they can. Seals and Bailey make the tackle. Bailey is in there for Bentley, who was shaken up on the last series and is not back in. Filling the inside.
And oh, do you love to get first and big yardage. First down and 6. You're in pretty comfortable territory. You can think 2-down run now.
So here's Hostetler using as much of that play clock on the left as he can. Game clock on the right. 2nd down and 4. The Giants take the play clock down to 3.
Smart.
And there is Anderson for a first down. And now, as we say, the Bills are going to have to begin to think about taking their timeouts.
Well, and they're going to have to think about taking some chances with a run blitz. But I think back to that 86 Giant team and their offensive line and the way they pulled their guards, the way they ran combination and scheme blocking with Arden, Godfrey, and Nelson. Hey, this group here, forget that stuff. This is a group that just knocks people off the ball, and we're looking at the maturation of what looks to be one of the great offensive lines in the National Football League. This is a bunch of kids, and they're just, with the exception of Bart Oates, hey, they're going to get nothing but better, and that's kind of scary.
There's the play clock, the game clock to 3:48. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Meggett can't turn it. Stopped for a yard loss. Mike Lotus is the first to hit him. 3.5 minutes remaining.
The Bills will
and
stop it,
Buffalo will take their first timeout. And when you start taking your timeouts here, then it becomes imperative to stop the Giants, because if you're going to use them and give up the first down, you're going home.
I think the Bills were aided that time by the Giants going outside. They've been removing the Bills defensive line between the tackles. I might have been tempted to just keep the game between the tackles.
This man now going to have to come with a major effort More on that offensive line. They're all draft picks with the exception of Bardo. It's a couple of number ones in there. Roberts and Moore were number ones. Bob Kraft was a third-round pick. He is alternating a lot tonight. A second-round pick, Big Jumbo Elliott, who, Dan, I remember when Elliott came into the league, he said he's going to be the perfect right tackle. I think you thought he could make the change to that left tackle.
So did a lot of people. Remember, Bill Parcells told us, I'm the only guy that thought he could be a left tackle. And you know what? He's right. I don't know anybody else that thought that Jumbo Elliott was a left tackle.
Second down and 11 coming up when play resumes as the Giants have it at their own 44-yard line.
That's why Parcells is coaching in the Super Bowl and we're up here. John, you could at least look tired.
3:33 left. Second and 11 at the 44-yard line. Hostetler avoids the blitz, hits Bavaro. He takes it to the 49. It's short of a first down. Kelso makes the tackle, and it will be 3rd and 3 at the 49-yard line of Buffalo.
Very high percentage call for Hostetler. Tied in short of the first down yardage.
Going to be 3rd and, as you can see, 3.5. Your choice. Long 3, short 4. Under 3 minutes to play. Bills have used a timeout. They have 2 left, plus the free one at the 2-minute warning.
They're going to let it run down. What are they doing? They're going to take a timeout.
And Hostetler will take a timeout. He's going to take a timeout. He's going to take as much time off the game clock as possible. He just did that. 2:41.
They don't do it the conventional way.
No, they sure don't.
They want to get the seconds off that clock, and they seemingly are going to do it any way they want to. Obviously, that he had been told to do exactly that. There was no confusion out there whatsoever. Parcells just wanted the seconds off the clock, wanted to talk it over. Big play. They get a first down. They're in great shape.
I'm confused as to what there is to talk over.
Meggett flanks Hostetler in the backfield. They have to get to the 45.5 for a first down.
Watch Hostetler run with the ball.
Quarterback draw to the 48. He's short of the first down. Now it is 4th down. Seals and Bennett make the tackle. 4th and 2. The Bills with 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning, and Buffalo, after taking a moment to think about it, elects to use a timeout here.
Well, you think we'll see Gary Reasons take off in a fake punt here? Somehow.
Maybe if there are 10 men on the field, he will.
Just about the same geographical location.
Yeah, but I don't think it would surprise the Bills.
Ball is at the 48-yard line.
An incredible number there. The New York Giants have had the ball for 40 minutes and 23 seconds. That is astounding. There's Gary Reasons, who had the big run in their win over the 49ers.
Well, the Giants line up to punt.
That 40-minute time of possession again. I mean, again, that is just, you cannot go on enough about the Giants and their offensive line.
2/3 of the game. Here's Landeta to kick. Edwards is back at the 10-yard line. 4th and 2. The Bills have 1 timeout remaining, plus the free one at the 2-minute warning. 2:22 remaining in the game. Giants by 1. Giants hoping to draw the Bills offside, but the Bills are a bunch of statues. They're not moving. No way will they be assessed the penalty in this situation, as a fair catch is called for by Edwards at the 10. So now it's pretty simple for Buffalo. They're at the 10. You've got to move it into Scott Norwood's field goal range. He doesn't have a lot of range, and especially not on grass, but that's down the line right now. First things first for Buffalo. 2:16 left, 1 timeout left, 1 free one at the 2-minute warning.
Well, at least Buffalo doesn't have to go into an offense that they haven't been using very often. I mean, they have to run the 2-minute drill with a 2-minute offense that they run every snap of the game. Again, a reminder, not a turnover in this game.
1st and 10 at the 10. Kelly with the 4 wideouts. He also sends Thomas into the pattern. Steps up to avoid the sack. Takes it out to the 17-yard line. The ball is knocked loose, but the play was whistled dead. Pepper Johnson with the tackle, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. It'll be 2nd and 2. Scott Norwood of the Bills, a very accurate kicker through the years, but not a lot of range. And on grass fields in his career, 1 for 5 from 40 yards plus.
What wind there is at his back, is at the back of the Bills. But they're a long way from that coming into play.
2nd down and 2 from the 18. Kelly, the pump fake, steps up and gets tackled by Howard very close to a first. He takes it to the 20-yard line and is a little bit short of the 1st down. 3rd down, inches. Bills have not converted a 3rd down in the game until now, thanks to Thomas. Thurman Thomas out to the 40, a 1st down, tackled by Everson Walls.
What a show Thurman Thomas is putting on tonight.
1st and 10 at the 40, 21-yard pickup, 1:22 to go, 1 timeout left for Buffalo. And over the middle, he hits Andre Reed, who was noisy in the 1st quarter, pretty quiet since. Out to the 45, 2nd and 5. Kelly flanked by Thomas in the backfield. 3 wide receivers.
No pass rush at all. That's unbelievable.
All day and half of the night, and he's going to run with it, and he picks up the 1st down, takes it to the 46, tackled by Banks, 48 seconds.
And Eric Howard once out of the game.
He was standing up on the line of scrimmage. He was probably hurt as the Giants continue to go with the 2 down linemen.
And Buffalo takes its final timeout. So that's it for the Bills. They are out of timeouts. It is 1st and 10. Buffalo at the 46. Again, Scott Norwood. 0 for 6 in his career from 50 plus. His longest field goal ever, 49 in 1985. His longest this year, 48.
You would have to think that Buffalo's got to be targeting at least the 25-yard line. So they're a good 20 yards away from where they need to be.
From the gun, 1st down at the 46-yard line. It's a 3-man New York rush. Kelly throws, it's low, but it's caught by McKellar off his shoe tops at the 40. Again, the Bills without a timeout. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Kelly lines up over center, and
well, they're going to look at it.
The umpire steps in to see, of all things, if it's a completed pass. That stops the clock with 29 seconds. Mark Burns is the replay official.
Let's take a look at it. Here comes Taylor on the blitz. There's McKellar, 84. He does a nice job of scooping this ball out. Oh, that's a nice catch.
He's got it.
Nice catch.
He's got it.
You know what? I bet the official saw the ball pop up a little bit, but what it did, it hits McKellar's lower leg and his foot. A fabulous catch. Great look, guys. Great look.
Play will stand. Seaman
After
will...
further review of instant replay, we have a completed catch.
Yeah,
2nd down.
He'll wind the clock now as soon as the ball is ready for play.
Easy to be in the instant replay booth when you get a look like that.
But that did give the Giants pass rush a little breather.
2nd down and 5. Here's Thurman Thomas swinging to the outside. Has the 1st down. Thurman Thomas takes it to the 30. Well, they are in Norwood field goal range. Collins makes the stop. The Bills are going to have to ground the ball to stop the clock at the 29-yard line. Kelly throws it into the ground. 8 seconds.
It'd be 47 yards from right here.
And they have to send him in here. They can't take a chance and run another play.
Norwood is right on the tip of his range.
Well, the Giants know what it's like to live this from the other end. Last week, it's Barr. This week, it's Norwood against them.
Well, we all remember the pictures of Jim O'Brien when he made that field goal jumping up and down.
Parcells wants a timeout to make Norwood think it's going to be a 47-yard field goal attempt. Frank Reich will be the holder when the ball is snapped. Timeout, New York. Now Norwood tries to kick his longest ever on grass. 47 yards. 8 seconds left. Adam Lingner will snap it. No good. Wide right.
There are photographers and people all over the field, but the clock still has 4 seconds on it. When you keep the ball for over 40 minutes of a ball game, your offensive line did a wonderful job.